This is Dallas from Narcotic Wasteland, and you're watching ArmyOfOneTV. What's up? This is Dallas with Narcotic Wasteland. We're here in New York at Blackthorn 51, down here in Queens. Going to be playing a show tonight. There's going to be quite a few other bands on the bill tonight, and we're looking forward to it. Narcotic Wasteland started in 2012. And we had just started writing a couple of songs. Initially, it was just going to be me recording all the instruments and putting something out. But the more I started working on the material, the more I wanted to really do it as a band. And so I started talking to my longtime friend Ed Rohn, and we started really talking about trying to get something together. And then we brought another friend from our hometown, Chris Dupree, for bass guitar, and just kept writing the songs, and we had a completed album sometime in 2012, and it took us until 2014 to find Eric Schultek for drums, and then we recorded our first album, which released in January of 2014. And then the album was pretty well received. It was completely done and financed ourselves, and it was really well received. Our drummer wasn't able to really do shows and tour because of his job and all that stuff, so I put it back on the back burner for a while. And of course, Nile got busy again. I'd been in Nile for almost 20 years, so from 1997 to 2016. And I still wanted to put out another album. I had been working on some new Narcotic Wasteland material, but we needed to fill that drummer slot. And I ran across Phil Kinsella. He had a video online of him playing some video game music on his drums or something like that. And I was very impressed with everything that he was doing with that. And I approached him about it, and he was interested. We flew him out. He rehearsed with us a couple of times, and we knew he was the guy. And totally willing to tour, obviously. And and here we are. We finished writing Delirium Tremens earlier this year, and recorded it and released it October 13th, and started this very first tour of ours on October 21st. It's been going really well, a lot better than I expected, being that it's a new band completely. And yeah, we're really excited to have an opportunity to get out and do this. Phil recorded his drums in a studio in Las Vegas where he lives. And once we got all that done, it only took him about 4 days to do the 11 songs, I believe. That was that plus a bonus track, something that I had written back in 1994, which is only available on the CD, and I always forget about that. So he recorded the drums there, and we sent those to a longtime friend of mine and renowned producer, Neil Kernan. And, we sent those to him, and, sent them back to me after he mixed them a little bit and provided a good click track and everything. Sent them back to me, and I recorded. Me and Chris did the rest in our home studio. In my home studio, did all the guitars, did all the vocals and all the bass there. And our lead guitarist, he lived in Texas at the time, and he just basically sent us his solo work and his song, his rhythm tracking and stuff, and we were able to just do it all right there. And then we send all that back to Neil Kernan, hoping that he's happy with with it. And and then he started bringing back, sending back mixes and stuff, and we were really, really happy with what he was doing. And that's pretty much the recording process. It took about 4 days for the drums, and it probably took us about a week and a half to do the rest. But yeah, it took some time to practice before we got in. It's I feel like it's a pretty tight sounding record, but it's not computer tight. We didn't want it to be too mechanical, but we did want it to be solid. So it was just a matter of, practicing our asses off and making sure that we got everything right, so we didn't have to go and fix anything later. It's all about garbage in and garbage out, and you know, doing the practice and getting everything nice and tidy, it's still going to be difficult. As soon as that record button hits, you know, it changes the ball game. You can play something damn near perfect like 10 times in a row. As soon as you hit that record button, it's completely different, and you're going to screw something up. So, but you get used to it after a while. You get used to the red light fever, and then you know, usually maybe pick a couple of easier songs to get warmed up, and then dive into some of the more difficult stuff. Well, the lyrical content is it's just basically based on personal experience. You know, I've lost a lot of friends and stuff, and you know, to hard drugs and alcohol, a lot of pharmaceutical drugs too, not necessarily street drugs. You know, we're not a straight edge band or anything like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with smoking some pot every now and then. As long as you regulate it, there's nothing wrong with having a few drinks too. And, you know, me personally, you know, I've had problems with alcoholism, you know, and probably still do. Maybe I'm just in fucking denial. Who knows? But I'm honest about it. You know, I'm realistic about it. You know, we're not trying to be like an anti-party band or anything like that. You know, it's really just talking about human behavior and addiction as a whole. You know, addiction doesn't necessarily have to be about drugs. It could be about gambling, or it could be about sex. It could be about a number of things. People that just get addicted to shopping online or whatever the hell. It's a mental state, and you know, some people may even call it a disease. I don't know that I necessarily feel that it's a disease. It probably feels like one to the person, but I don't really honestly feel that it's necessarily a disease. I think it's just something that happens to people that they kind of get stuck into. You know what I mean? And it's just everything. We're kind of set up in a world where everything is regimented and everything is in this kind of vicious cycle of a schedule. And I think it's really easy for bad things to get into your schedule and get into your cycle. And the real problem is just feeling like you need to get high on something in order to function. You probably need to examine that if you feel like you have to do it. If you're just doing it for fun and okay, I don't have any beer today. Okay, no problem. Okay, then you can probably do it healthy and do it responsibly. But if you feel like you absolutely have to have it, then you might want to have a look at that, because that might develop into a more difficult problem. But you know, we don't always talk about that. It is kind of a main theme, but I don't feel like we're limited to it. We've written songs about serial killers, written song about kind of an anti-religious view once. Also have written, you know, just about narcissistic behavior and people just being assholes or whatever. So I don't really feel limited. You know, the theme is kind of there, and it doesn't necessarily have to always be about drugs or alcohol or whatever. We feel pretty much like we can do whatever we want. It's great to work with them, and you know, we were just kind of, you know, our booking agent was kind of helping us shop this thing around a little bit, and it seemed like the best choice overall for everything and everybody that we were looking at. And you know, we were kind of excited to be with Megaforce Records just because it was kind of a legendary label, and we have some thrashiness in us too, and it just seems to kind of fit. You know, we're really happy to work with them, and you know, they've been really, really cool and been very helpful on this whole sort of campaign, if you will. And yeah, you know, it's just some great people to work with. And you know, also our PR firm, Adrenaline PR, they've been really helping out every way they can. And you know, we feel really, really lucky and excited to have some people behind us that believe in this thing as much as we do. Yeah, you know, you can check us out. We've got all the normal stuff that you have to do this day and age. With, you know, we have Narcotic Wasteland Official on Instagram. You know, we got the Facebook page. We have narcoticwasteland.com, our own website. The website's a good place to maybe pick up the CDs and the shirts that we have available right now, even though we're actually running really low on stuff. And I know that I have a lot of orders that I'm going to have to send out soon. And so yeah, because we kind of just got wiped out in Canada. Like, a lot of stuff got gone. But Our website's a good place to check it out. I would check out Megaforce Records first, or maybe just I think they have it distributed in places like Best Buy and stuff like that. So really, any outlet you can find it is a good place. It's good for us. You know what I mean? And as long as you're happy with it, then we're happy with it. You know what I mean? Even steal it. I don't give a shit. Just be happy with what you let the music move you and find it. Pay for it, don't pay for it. I don't care. Just enjoy it. No, you won't be disappointed. We worked really hard to get this shit tight, and we're making new fans every night. You know what I mean? It feels good. There's still a lot of people that don't even really know about this shit. So this is what we're out here doing. We're out here putting the word out, and playing from the heart every night. It doesn't matter if there's a few hundred people there, a few thousand, or maybe 3 or 4 people there. We're going to give them the same show and the same passion. We don't care about any of that stuff. Me personally, I don't really sweat it. I just like to play through loudspeakers, and that's kind of my addiction. We got about, I think we got 6 shows left. I don't know exactly. I'd have to look. But yeah, we're kind of making our way. We're going to Philadelphia tomorrow, then we're going to start making our way down the East Coast, down to Florida. Last show's December 9th in Orlando, Florida. And that'll be the completion of, I think its total is like 35, 40 shows or something like that for our first tour. We've been at this thing since October 21st was the first show. Yeah, and the last was December 9th. So yeah, we're definitely pushing it to the metal, man. And if I had any special message to say to anybody, is just even if you're not a fan of what we do, thanks so much for just being a fan of metal. I'm also a fan of metal, and I feel like we're some of the finest people in the world. We're not waging wars between each other, at least yet. We're just, there's a nice, I don't know, like a brotherhood there. It makes the rest of the world seem kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Like everybody in the metal community, well, at least everybody I know, we get along a lot better. We're a lot more tolerant of other people's ideas. We may argue about it sometimes, but we're not blowing each other up about it. So I don't know. It's my home. I belong amongst the metalheads forever.